Hi everyone, Manmeet Chowdhry from Optimum Performance Solutions, and this week's Wisdom Wednesday is a very special one. It comes all the way from San Diego in this beautiful city with a lovely lake behind me, and I'm here with my homegirl, Liz Garcia, who is also a performance expert in the town of Los Angeles. Now, we had some congratulations and commiserations as she got married last weekend, and I thought I would hand it over to her to give you a great Wisdom Wednesday about relationships.
So first of all, I gotta tell you that having my homegirl Manmeet at my wedding was the most special, beautiful thing because she's one of my favorite people of all time. And so I'll talk about how preparing for the wedding was such an inspirational practice of both of us remaining in our values. And so with something like a wedding, like it's so easy to get caught up in kind of like traditions and the things that you're supposed to do and that we should be doing because it's a wedding. And over we had to have conversations, or we chose to have conversations around what is it that we want? What is it that honors who we are? Oh my God, I could totally feel the tears coming. What is it that honors who we are? What is it that honors who we are as individuals and who we are as a couple, and will reflect what we want and what we want to create in our lives? And what we ended up saying was, this is the wedding of do what you want and don't do what you don't want. So that yeah, we could say, and getting to that point allowed us to just stay true to who we are and stay true to a wedding that really reflected who we are and what we wanted the experience for you all to be and for us to be as well.
Awesome. Yeah. So one question before you go, Liz. You know, in couples and actually in any type of relationship, there are times that you can communicate really well and there are times that there's miscommunication. Because you're just newly married, what advice would you like to give my viewers about communication, especially in intimate relationships?
You know, I think about Ice Cube has a song where he used to say, "Chickadee, check yourself before you wreck yourself." And so I think about that because I think for me, when there's miscommunication, I have to look at two things. One is, what are my patterns? What are my patterns in my communication, and what are my patterns when I don't communicate well? Like we were talking earlier, like if I'm feeling stressed about something, then it's harder for me to focus. And when it's harder for me to focus, it's harder for me to communicate what I want, right? And so I'm in a constant conversation of, did I communicate what I intended to communicate, how I intended to communicate? And so it's a constant conversation of what's happening inside. And then the second thing is, you know, we talk a lot about values, right? And so when there's miscommunication, how much of that is that I am not honoring his values or he's not honoring my values, or we're both kind of going here, not really kind of paying attention to what's happening for each of us. And so if you heard in both of the answers is self-reflection. And look, you know, I think sometimes it gets easy that we want to blame, and I certainly fall into that sometimes too. But it's, again, I got to check myself to see, it's, you know, is it easier to blame? If we're willing to take a little bit more time to self-reflecting and asking the questions of ourselves first, feels better in the end, and oftentimes has clearer and more loving and more inspirational outcomes.
Love it. So just remember, Liz said, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Thank you so much, Liz.
I love you.
I love you too.